Thanks for participating in this class. So the class basically is about learning how to become your own broadcaster. So you become your own host, and you're learning to manage yourself, to create an audience, to find your niche, to create a brand around you, to retain fans, and you learn the best techniques to advertise yourself all over the world. So and the main thing is learning what's your message and how is your message going to be conveyed to the world and to other people, and what makes you different between you and everybody else out there, and why are you doing it. So tell me about yourself and how you see yourself in let's say you wanted to start a radio station or you have your own podcast. What would it be about if it was you?
What would it be about if it was me? Well, it would probably be about various aspects of the entertainment business. I've been a festival producer. I've been promoting shows and events and people since '99. I've done a few movie projects. I'd probably be looking to host something along those lines.
Okay, so let's say we wanted to highlight your best features and your best qualities, of course, because we want everybody to see who Lawrence is and why should somebody listen to it? What are they gonna gain from listening to your podcast? So it's very wide. There's just so many podcasters out there, but not everybody knows how to retain an audience. So there's a difference between having a sidekick, a podcast, or having a podcast who's actually bringing you clients. And so that's what we're doing here in this class. I'm going to just highlight what would be the best for you in the people that you're going to, attract, maybe learning who are those people and how they can reach you, and how are they going to enjoy listening to your podcast. What do you think you're going to bring to your podcast? But also, when you're doing a podcast, you're not always revealing everything at first, because when you do that, you're not letting any mystery. And if you're giving too much at once, nobody's going to want the rest. It's just like giving the whole icing in the cake. You're going to have to give a little bit, but you're always going to have some kind of offering before, in the middle, and at the end of the show. So it takes a while, and you have to be really on board with the time it's going to take, and just follow those little steps. And sometimes things have to be consistent, and sometimes they don't. It really depends on your voice and what you bring. And having podcasts not just about something you're going to sell or something you're going to tell them. It's also referring to your life. So if I was referring to you, once in a while, in between, you want to say, here, I got a little anecdote for you. I want to tell you something happened to me in my life, so people can connect to you. So give me an example of something that you think it's relatable to you, and it can also attract people in your sales class or whatever class you have.
Okay. Well, I've sold everything from toner to toothpaste and Epsom oil wells. I had a client once that didn't trust me, so I broke protocol from the office and told him to call the Securities and Exchange Commission, and he ended up coming in for $5 million.
So what happened? Didn't trust you?
Well, it was an issue of trust. He had been burned by people in the oil and gas industry for a long time, and he didn't know how he could trust anybody. I closed him by saying, go ahead and call the Securities and Exchange Commission. If they say we're good with it, you're coming in. He agreed. He checked out the firm, he checked out me, and he came in.
Okay,
and
so let's say
10 years later, I met his son. He had passed away, and his son had told me the investment was still going on, and he asked me how I was doing on my book tour. I told him, and he says, how much do I need to continue it? He gave me $7,000 right there on the spot.
That is a weird story. Okay, so I'm not sure I'm following everything, but anyway. So you're saying basically you gained the trust of somebody who was not trusty of you?
Yep.
So, okay. So I was not talking about that. I was talking about you finding some kind of attachment past story for you to relate to your podcast. So would that be a story you think it's appropriate for your listener or
Well,
not?
it tells the story of one of my
Because the
sales
death
trips.
of a son doesn't sound like something people want to hear about his son being dead, you know? It sounds
Oh,
like you want to use more positive words.
okay, more positive words.
Yeah, because if that's the kind of people that you want, if you want to be successful, you probably need to be on the positive side of things. That's just my advice. Huh?
Okay.
So
On the positive side, well, let's see. I've sold 50,000 copies of my books. I've
that's
done about
something you should be proud of. That's something you should definitely mention when you start a podcast. Be like, this is the future things that should be listed on your profile, under your picture.
uh,
And then you're just gonna kind of highlight what you like to do, what you're gonna give to your audience, and you'll be like, okay, this is me, this is what I accomplished. You know, like now you're going to learn from the best, you know, from what I've done. So that's a good thing. Then you should definitely use, you know, in your favor.
yeah.
All right, so let's get started. So I don't know, do you have any idea of like what do you see if you did have a podcast? What do you see for your first episode? Do you see music? Do you see having a guest on the very first episode? Do you see
I
what
would
do
use
you pick?
I would use the first episode as an introduction. What I would do with the podcast, where I wanted to go, and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. At the next podcast, we're going to have so and so on, or I'm going to talk about this on the next time. Here's what the podcast is all about. That kind of thing.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, you want to do your introduction, what's going to be. So kind of like if you were writing a book and
Uh-huh.
you'll be like, here's the summary of what things are going to be. The only thing for you, since you are not selling books, is that what you're doing?
Uh,
Featuring and you have sold that many books, but you are in sales, will be not, oh, I want to be a bestseller, I'm going to make you a bestseller. It will be more like, I can sell that many books for you. So it'll be
right,
like, come to me because I can show you the way. Yeah.
right.
So let me get started over here. So let's say you were looking to buy a new TV. You were interested in a particular brand and model, and you stumbling upon a sleek banner ad that told you all the wonderful features of a TV. But you also had a friend who had an opinion about the same TV, and their review wasn't nearly as glowing. Who would you believe, the ad or your friend?
My friend.
They said chances are you take your friend advice over the ad 10 times out of 10. This is the power of trust, and if it's the foundation of a social media role in our buy behavior. So, just like you were saying, trust. But trust is not always gained by everybody. Let's say your story is a good one, but what about somebody who didn't trust you? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna, you know, be aggressive? Are you gonna say, "Here, I got a new offer for you"? How are you gonna try to pursue those people who don't think you are a trustworthy person?
That's close I've ever heard. I got a drawer full of clients you can talk to. Don't take my word for it. Talk to them.
Okay, that's a good one. So, how many of those people would you say you have? Like, actually, somebody's gonna back up what you're saying right now.
I've got about 10.
10? That's
10.
good. So you built on referral, relationship, all of this. So that's already a plus because now you have all of these and you have all of these people and you can invite in your podcast. So those are like could be maybe 5 out of 10. Those can be guests. And you can refer each other, so that's good. So the consumer now has the power to find, inform, and educate themselves around product or service category. So influence brand business and more importantly affect sentiment in a way previously impossible to influence in scale. So how do we influence like your own brand? How would we do that? Give me some answer, like whatever comes to mind. What could you do to influence your name and your brand?
Well, I can publish more.
I don't think that's a good idea. Let's say you have so many already. I don't think, adding to it's going to, unless you want something like more technology or just like something because you want to highlight something you just did, a really small guide, like a business type of guide. Yeah. But I think people should learn about you. Let's say they never read a thing about you. They never read your book, they know nothing.
Okay.
So you're not going to attract them by saying, I'm going to add some more. Maybe I can find something that fits you. You're going to try to find the one who's closest to their need or their wants. Or it find out about them a little bit more, like find what they like, So there's also another way with Facebook groups and Facebook page and Facebook business that helps for branding. And now they have page for a lot of radio hosts. And everybody knows already about all the, social media places, and you can use targeting and create new hubs, and that's not new. And also Amazon and all this. So, all right. But now I'm going to get on to something else. So, all right. So let's say now we want to do a section around people are listening to your podcast and they're going to remember you. How are they going to remember your voice? That guy who sold all these things really, like, he knows how to sell things. Is that how you want to be remembered? Or do you want to bring more value and maybe more offering?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you do? What would you bring to the table?
What would I bring to the table? Well, I've got over 30 years of experience. I'm a national renowned poet, and I've had some experience selling movies. I've done 5 movies, 2 shorts, and a TV pilot in 5 days.
So are you using that today to grow, or are you just saying? Because it's one thing to saying, but actions speak louder than words. Everybody knows. So I think that you should use some of the link of your best movies or whatever is the biggest one you've done. You're proud of it. You talk about it all the time. If I were you, when I listened to you the first time, when I interview you, people, if you don't know, I interview Lawrence in my podcast, so they can go to the podcast. Is like, oh wow, seems like he's been there, he's done a lot of things, and he knows a lot, so I will want to see it, and I don't want to search for it. So that's what you would put on the number one thing when people come to your podcast or your web page, so you're going to pick the best one, the most popular one, and the one you like the most. So each time you can refer to it. So which one would it be, so people can just click and make it easy on them?
It would probably be instant poetry.
Okay.
That's the one that's selling right now.
And you know what else you could do? You could just play a few seconds of it and be like, oh, here's the best part. And then you just kind of play it and just kind of get in the mood, bring your spirit back up. I mean, it was something, wasn't it? Like something you did, you really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is the biggest thing you say you want to talk about?
Well,
if you could.
Biggest accomplishment, I was on stage in front of 50,000 people. Like I said, I had that experience with the guy I broke protocol for. I've begun doing speaking engagements.
So after that one time, you get all these offers from the speaking engagement?
Yeah. I've gotten
huge speaking engagement, then you got a lot of offers.
Yeah.
So that allows you to really get tons of referrals, tons of clients, and just.
Well, I had an issue. I had a bit of a health problem, so I had to give up my business for a while. So I'm kind of just restarting everything again. So
yeah, I remember. And are you better now, or are you still dealing with some health issue? You better? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it can be difficult. And you know what? Those type of things happen to anybody at any time. And that's why we always say you gotta live now and you're gonna move on, and you can not live on the past because who knows what's gonna happen to you tomorrow, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
I have my own health issue, and I realized, things could happen anytime. So if you want to do those things, be happy now and do those things now,
Yeah.
with whatever you got. And so, okay, there's so many things. So we're talking about, is your ID emotional or is your ID entertaining mostly?
On testing,
Like entertaining. Is it mainly entertaining your ideas, or are they mainly emotionals?
mostly emotionals.
Okay, so what's your idea of authenticity for you? Do you ever look after someone, or somebody, or tutor, or mentor, or teacher from the past for your ideas or how to be authentic?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how did you create your authenticity?
Well, I started doing my thing, and I've developed over my lifetime. I'm 54 now. I started when I was 6 years old. So
Whoa. Oh my God, you're not that old. 54 is not that old. You started at 6 years old.
yeah.
That's really, really young. Nobody should be walking at 6 years old.
Well, my
What should you
father
be?
said
Huh?
it was my father's business, and I was helping him with his workshops. That's what
Oh,
I had to sell.
so you just got put to work that young?
Yeah.
Oh, never in 100 years. Listen, me, I actually came from one of those households where I had a housekeeper cleaning up my room. I had 3 stairs. I was sleeping with a roof, like not an attic, but a ceiling roof. I
Uh-huh.
had my own little bathroom, and we'll go to vacation 3 or 4 times a year. The Caribbean, the Virgin Island, and then we had another house in North France.
Uh-huh.
So we weren't like rich, just normal, wealthy, and we. But that's how I grew up. I grew up with a housekeeper. Like, so whenever I come back from a camp or whatever, my stuff would be all clean. I never had to do anything. I didn't know how to wash my clothes until I was 18. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, how do you wash clothes? Like, how do you put clothes in? you know,
Wow.
we even had a secretary in a house. She was right down my bedroom. Like, when I had a bamboo stair, and I go down, and she was there every day working for my dad. You know,
Uh-huh.
and anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, I work and help, and I had no problem helping my mom or dad when they needed me. It wasn't like an issue, but it was like you have to do it. Did you feel like you had to work, like you were obligated to work, or
Yeah.
oh, okay. So more like the mentality, like you better do it, or you got no choice.
Yeah.
That's not too good. So I think with you, it sounds like you kind of like somebody makes you like so hard on yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta work, you gotta, like
Yeah.
somebody you feel like there's a high expectation on you all the time. I know the feeling too. It's like when you're not accepted and you feel like you need to do so much. I've done that for years.
Mhm.
When I start drinking too much alcohol, I was always going 100 miles an hour, and I was doing a lot, but I never go nowhere because I was
Uh,
either not finishing them, or I was punishing myself, or sabotaging
mhm.
things that I will do, and just end stress.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with, sometimes it's things that happen to us in the past or whatever reason, and we don't deal with it. But I think the best for you or anybody is to approve who you are, to congratulate yourself, and not waiting for the outside world to tell you that you did good.
Mhm.
And you gotta see your accomplishment for what they are. And you just gotta relax. And that's what I did too. I remember always feeling like it wasn't enough because I was looking for my parents and other people, some past friends, and I was always looking for them to tell me, people were expecting more of me too,
Yeah.
kind of like you, like they knew how much I could do. So they were always say, I'm going to be out there, I'm doing 1 million things. I'm going to be that superstar, So I was always trying to be on top. And when I didn't get there, I felt disappointed. I felt like I disappointed everybody. So sometimes you go smaller and smaller because you're like, oh my God, I should be doing that. I should have that, Anyway, so yeah, I think you should, maybe you've, I see somebody in the back. Maybe you podcast, let's say, I see, I'm going to give you my opinion because I want you to know that when they do that, that class is going to be a one-on-one and it's going to be personalized and there's going to be so much information and resource given too. And it's not, so I will see like a upbeat, a business type of music, a very fast move, like a trance type of music to get started. Like it's really putting you in mood because I've listened to lots of podcasts and I've seen there were some groups of women and young women and they did some great podcasts like on business, all type of things. And it was super hip, and it really gets you in when you heard that. So I will see that. And then you can pay for your own intro. And that's something where it's not your voice, you can pick somebody's voice. And that's the same intro you use for everyone, just like a radio station. But that intro is super powerful because that's going to be like the deciding factor on people, like, am I going to listen to this or not, So I think you should work on that, like finding that. And then, like you say, you're going to do your intro. But when you're doing your intro, don't be so harsh, like say, don't go so far ahead. Just go, this is my idea for the next 3 months. Because things can twist and change and, and you got to go with the flow. So depending on who's going to be there listening to you and you guests also. So they could make you more viral also. It's going to kind of give you some flow. But I'm saying do that, kind of set it up like a chapter for next 3 months and have yourself, and also always remember that when you start, tell a little anecdote about yourself, little funny story, also add another 2 minutes about your day. And always thank you, listener, first and at the end, and then have something to offer them in the middle. So I don't always do that, but I think it's something that I see for people who are successful in this, they always do that. They have something. It depends what it is. Sometimes it's better than others. So you're good at this, so you probably can find something that attract people to get right away. Yeah, I think it's really important. And your voice is super important too. If you're in a bad mood, you're not gonna do good, But it's okay. If people are here for you to cheer you up, they like you, they know who you are. So you want to be on top of your game, but you also want to be yourself. So you don't want to be in a depressing mood, and And I understand, in pain we can always feel good, So yeah, just and they will. I don't know if you ever done that, like a radio, like you kind of attach yourself to your audience when you go live or when you go, when you have a podcast like this. But it's different than just going live or doing video or doing course because you somehow you're going to build a little crew and they're going to follow you. And those people, if you get serious about it, they're really going to be the people who are going to be pushing you. They're going to push you. They're going to be your fan, super, and they're going to make the best out of you, I think, So I think so you don't want to let them down. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's important to like try to mention them. I don't know who mine are. Like sometimes I look, I'm like, thank you, those people in UK or, or maybe Italy or Mexico, follow, your statistic, and check out all the other stuff. And I like to put my main website on. I use Spreaker, but you can use Apple or iTunes or now they have Amazon. They say it's kind of new. Amazon Music just open for podcast now. Wow. And I guess it's a big thing, and I'm getting it. Actually, I got it. They're just waiting for the approval. Mm-hmm. And then all of those things. Once you get hooked to one, you get up to 12. So all you have to do is find that host podcast place. You start there, and then they will automatically enter you into all those different podcasts. So, and you can't really check statistics from all the other place, only the place that you choose, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, which means you could be reaching tons of people. But you have to understand, like, why am I doing it?
Right.
And why am I trying? Some people doing it just for health purposes. Like, there's a woman, she was talking about her life, like adventure life, going to all this trail, and why she lost all this weight, reconnect with herself. And I thought it was beautiful, like how she talked about, this like just life, And then there's other people who just life coach, and it's totally about, healing and, all of those great things you can do to, to feel better. And then you have people who are just about business, and then you have people who are just here to tell their stories, whatever it is. So I think there's tons of, of things. I don't know. I think you do good. No?
Okay.
If you so even if you want popular, I think it's important to add, like a lot of people say, like, oh, I never saw myself doing that, or maybe I'm not gonna do great, I'm gonna give up. But if you choose something, like you say, I'm gonna do an episode every 2 weeks, then stick to it. Or if you can't, then do once a month. But whoever's going to listen, they know you here once a month.
Right.
And you do have people that and follow your website and stuff. So it'd be easier that way they know on that. They know that no matter what, if they have been busy, they know there's going to be that one episode each month. Then they can refer to, they can listen. So that's my advice. So I would think let's say you do that. Let's say you just want to do once a month. You're going to do 30 minutes long.
Right.
You're going to be prepared. You're going to say, in those 30 minutes, you're going to start off by thanking everybody. I mean, start with the music, the intro, thanking everybody, and then you're going to go, oh, this is what I've been up to. Get 2 minutes. And then after that, you're going to go do something funny, something to kind of relax the mood. And then after that, you're going to go on, okay, this is the great idea that I have for this month, and I'm going to give you a few updates, of what's happening in my sales class and what you can get. And then always make sure you always add the extra factor, and like, I want you to come and tell me what you think about my podcast, feedback and all this stuff, and how to find me, and always. To me, my advice, I never liked too much the sales thing pitch, so I will not go, go there and buy these, What do you think? Yeah, because I don't think it's really attractive to say that, to like, just say, oh, if you want to check it, just go look at it, Yeah. So, let me see. Okay. So also, advertise on Facebook. You can get ads. You can get ads on Google. You can get ads on YouTube. I will suggest YouTube because you can do both at the same time, like I'm doing right now. You can you can have your YouTube channel video and then do the podcast on the side, so you get two in one. So, and then you can share that everywhere in your groups and stuff. So that really gives you a lot of followings, Yeah. Anyway, and I just think your reputation is important, and your image is important too, And I'm not saying you look. I'm just saying you how you treat your customer,
Right.
And so, anything you want to add, or you just do you have any idea?
You pretty much covered it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. You know what? I hope I'm going to have some people signing up. Right now it's free. So all they have to do is they just have to join Anewdayanewstory on Facebook. And then the Facebook room is right up here Monday at 6 p.m. So I hope I see some of you next week to learn some more. And thanks, Lorenz, for being here with me.
Sure.
Thank you so much. And say hi to whoever's there. Bye.
Bye.